Obviously, Angola's had 2 great seasons, back-to-back undefeated regular seasons. What do you guys carry over? What do you guys hope to continue from those successful years?
We just want the same intensity, and the same teamwork, team bonding that we have, year in, year out. And, we just hope that translate into next year, too.
It's been Dwenger both times that's knocked you out in the postseason. What do you learn from those games, and how do you, take that as motivation so that you can go out this year and maybe advance a little bit further in the postseason?
Dwenger, they're obviously a really good program. Props to them. We praise them for being such a good program. And, after losing them 2 years, we just come back, and we regroup. And we think about what we can improve on for the next year. They got moved up to 5A, so, we're not going to play them again, but at least we know how to play a team of that caliber.
As far as skill position goes, Jared Gibson's gone, McCurdy's gone, a number of talented offensive skill position players have graduated, but who are some of the guys that are going to have to step into bigger roles this year offensively to put up the numbers that we've seen Angola put up?
Well, we have our new quarterback, Tucker Houseman. He's a junior. We also have our running back, tailback, Finley Hasselman. I think both of those guys are brothers. They're going to be putting up big numbers this year, stepping up big roles. We also have a senior, Brandon Ray. He's also going to step in, have some big blocks on the outside.
Obviously, you guys have won back-to-back NECC titles, maybe 3 in a row if I'm counting correctly. But what is it about this team now that you guys have such a target on your back as far as the conference goes that motivates you to continue to have that success?
Can you repeat that?
What is it, knowing that you guys have a target on your back in your conference, how do you approach the season knowing you're going to get everybody's best shot?
Well, Coach always says, we have to play like we have a target on our back because we no longer are at the bottom, we're at the top. So, we do everything, with high intensity 100% because we know we can't just take days off because we're at the position where we can't. Like, we have to go 100%. We have to have a high intensity in practices and games because that all needs to transfer into every game we have.
Appreciate it, my man. Hey, back-to-back undefeated regular seasons for Angola. How do you keep the momentum going, knowing that graduation, as always, hits a good team hard?
Right, and that's something that we can't focus on as the guys we're losing. We have to focus on the guys that are stepping up and who we have to coach. We got to make sure that they stay in the game, like in the weight room and off the field. So we just got to keep on them and help them get into varsity football. And so hopefully we can do that and keep the momentum we've had.
Give me some names and some positions of guys that we're going to see step up this season that maybe didn't have as big a role last year.
Tucker Houseman, he's going to be starting at quarterback for us. Big shoes to fill, but I'm very confident in him. And we also have a bunch of linemen stepping up. So just a bunch of guys filling in spots, and I'm just super excited to play with all of them and all that stuff. So
a lot of people over the last couple of years want to talk about Angola's prolific offense, but you look at the defensive numbers; they're just as impressive. What is it about the defense, and what are going to be some of the key components for this defense as we enter 2019?
It's just the speed that we play at. We all play with a certain chip on our shoulder and intensity, and all of us do our jobs. We communicate very well, and so I think even with the new guys stepping up, we just got to practice communicating, and once we all get that together, we'll be able to play just as fast as we did last year.
I asked Antonio this question as well, but knowing that you guys have kind of owned the NECC the past couple of years, the target is on your back, you're getting everybody's best shot on Friday. How do you approach a season knowing that you're kind of the hunted as opposed to the hunter?
Right. We can't really take any practice for granted. We can't take any game for granted. Even the weight room, we got to take all the reps serious, and we just got to push ourselves, and we can't become complacent, and we just got to keep going hard every single day, and every game has to be a championship game, and that's the mentality we have to have in order to stay successful. So,
how do you keep that momentum rolling, knowing that whenever you have a good team led by seniors, graduation always hits hard?
Sure. Well, you just have to keep in mind what got us here, and what got us here was a lot of hard work, going through a difficult program during the school year in our weights program, and in the summer in our summer strength and agility, and doing all those difficult things and taking care of the little things and taking it 1 week at a time. And I know that's a cliche, but it is so true. I mean, we're not good enough in any years that we've had, even in the last 2 years, to worry about anybody else other than who we're playing. So we got to work hard, remember what got us here, and worry about who we're playing, and that's it.
Gibson graduated, Honer's graduated, McCurdy's graduated. We've seen especially a lot of offensive skill guys who have graduated. Who are some of the guys that are stepping into those roles and going to be playing more prominent roles in 2019 for Angola?
Well, on the offensive side of the ball, we got Tucker Hasselman at quarterback right now. Antonio Luevanos has a lot of football under his belt. Finley Hasselman at running back, at fullback, and kind of looking for another H-back. Ryan Brandt's going to play some H-back, even though he's more of a defensive guy, but we're going to get the ball in his hands. And then we got a bunch of young guys that are vying for spots. Some of that will depend on who knows our offense the best and grasping what we're trying to do. So, we've got some young guys that are really talented, and they're going to have to grow up a little bit. And the sooner they do that, the better off we'll be early.
You mentioned Ryan. He's kind of the leader of your defense. When people talk about Angola the last couple of years, they point to the offensive numbers, but the defense has been kind of equally stellar. How does he lead this defense, and what are some of the keys to having another top-notch defense this coming season?
Well, I mean, we got to be fundamentally sound. And the last couple of years, we had some dynamic, rough, tough dudes that sometimes they weren't in the right place, but they made plays just because they were just so tough and so good. So this year, the biggest key is we're going to have to be fundamentally sound. We're going to have to run to the ball. And having a guy like Ryan with a lot of experience in the back end of your defense is huge for any team. But even more importantly, he's a team-first, humble guy. And anytime your leaders and anytime your best players are team-first and humble, and you got a chance to be good in all aspects of your team.
Final question from me. You guys have, over the last couple of years, established yourself as the team to beat in the NECC. How do you approach that season now, or approach kind of that mentality, knowing that you are the hunted as opposed to the hunter at this point?
I mean, our kids have to understand that people are going to work that much harder. We've kind of, by what we've done, have made ourselves a target, like you said, but really nothing changes. I mean, we are not good enough to worry about anybody but DeKalb on August 23rd, and then after that we're going to line it up again and put our heart and soul in our preparation 1 week at a time. So we just got to keep grinding away and doing the things that got us here and take it 1 week at a time.